Troy Kearns, real estate investor, bringing it to you from my Las Vegas office. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to cold call anyone. You may not have known, but I've been cold calling since I was 16 years old. I know a thing or two about cold calling, and most of my business has been generated by picking up the phone and calling people. And I bet you're gonna learn a thing or two from watching this whole video. We're gonna dive into some of the mistakes people make and how you can become an excellent cold caller, how you can get over your fear, possible fear of picking up the phone, and how you can learn why the phone is the best way to make money when you're investing in real estate and how you can get good at it. And before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am and where I came from so that you know that I'm the right guy to listen to and why you should stay to the end of this video. I, like you, or maybe not like you, I started from absolutely nothing. My parents were lifetime renters. We lost a house to foreclosure when I was growing up. And today I am financially free. I own over 350 rental units. I've been basically financially free for about the past 12 years. And I did that by cold calling. Cold calling is something that you have to learn if you're gonna invest in real estate, or if you're gonna be good at sales, or if you're gonna be good at anything where you have to talk to people and you have to get a hold of people. And I wanna know, do you like cold calling? Do you cold call? Tell me. Comment below, let me know if you cold call or not. I wanna know. Tell me if you've done it. I'm really interested to take a survey if you're a cold caller, and tell me if you're a good cold caller too. Or if you're a terrible cold caller, I wanna know about that also, okay? So make sure you stay all the way to the end. And hey, before you do that, do me a favor. If you like to make money, make sure you subscribe, because we put out new videos daily that you're gonna learn how to make money, how to invest in real estate, and how to grow as an entrepreneur. My name's Troy Kearns. I did it myself. I made tons of mistakes. I made tons of failures, but I started just where you're at, watching YouTube, learning and growing, and then I took action. You too need to take action right now and hit that notification button so that you can get notified every time we put out a new video, and make sure you hit the like button because it'll help us bring you more content. And if you like something that we said, or if you want us to make a video on something, definitely make sure you mention it by your comments where you tell me yes or no, I like cold calling. Cold calling is the best way, and calling in general is the best way to sell in 2021. It is a skill set that is not going away. I'm gonna give you a list of mistakes that you may be making that could turn off your prospect and cost you a sale. First thing you need to do is not call people or ask people, hey, is this Tom Smith? Right then and there, you have identified yourself as a solicitation, or you were not knowing that person. And guess what? People who don't call you want to sell you something. So right then and there, you made a huge mistake and you turned your prospect off. My suggestion is when you call someone, you use their first freaking name, okay? Hey, Bill, guess what? Anybody that calls me Troy, hey, Troy, I want to talk to you. Do you have a couple seconds? Blah, 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 blah. They already got my attention because they said, hey, Troy. If they said, hi, is this Troy Kearns? Guess what? You're not my friend. What the heck do you want? I'm not here for you. That's a big mistake people make in cold calling. Secondly, you don't have enough freaking energy, man. Hi, is this Troy? Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Listen, take some freaking Monster, suck it down, crank on the phones and get ready for it, or do whatever you do. But you need to be able to have high energy when you're calling someone, because you are not going to be excited about selling them. And sales is energy. Energy feeds energy. In order to let people know, especially if you're selling them something, you want to have energy, right? You want to come across as someone who's enthusiastic, not someone who's putting you to sleep on the desk, okay? You don't want to be that guy. You want to be somebody who is authentic, enthusiastic, and is calling someone by their first name. Definitely don't start with, "Hi, how are you today?" That reeks of telemarketing, and your chances of getting hung up on are pretty much immediate. Another mistake that people make when they're cold calling is, "Are you busy?" Don't ask that question. Are you busy? And what if they say yes? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. I got all the time in the world. Listen, everybody is busy. Everybody's busy, especially if you're selling them something. Rather than saying, "Are you busy?" a better way to say it is, "I know you're busy right now, Troy, so I really want to take an opportunity to make this short and brief, but I believe you're going to want to watch this video in its entirety because people who watch this video get filthy rich." Have some sort of a benefit for them to listen to your short sales pitch, but identify that you know they're busy and that you're going to get to the point quickly and that you understand that they're busy, and you're going to condense your short, sweet sales pitch. And you know what? Every salesperson is using the same technique and they're not listening, and therefore people are so inundated with phone calls that you're just not going to stand out and you're going to get hung up on for. And I know people always say, "Well, it's just about hitting the numbers." But you know what it's really about? It's not about just hitting the phone numbers. It's not about just picking up the phone. It's about building rapport and having a good conversation with someone that fits what you're trying to sell, calling targeted people with cold calls, with design scripts that actually work. One mistake that I have the tendency of making, even on videos, if you haven't noticed, I tend to do this all the time, talking too freaking fast. Slow down, get your point across. Don't go too slow where they think that you have some sort of issue, but slow down so that they can understand you, that you don't speak so fast that they think that you're talking over them, that you're not in some sort of a panic, that you actually have a valid point that you want to make, enunciate, practice what you're going to say, understand what you're going to say, speak slowly and fluidly. This also takes precedent when leaving a voicemail. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth. When you're speaking to their voicemail, repeat the phone number twice. There's nothing more annoying than a fast speaking salesperson that goes, "Call me back. My name is Troy Kearns. Call me back." Nobody wants that. Slow down, repeat the number, say it clearly so that you're going to get a call back, and leave a great message when you do so. And I'll give you a little tip about that, but you might want to say something like, "Hey Troy, I am calling about your house on 123 Main Street. Can you call me back? It's important. My number is 702-555-1212. 702-555-1212. Okay? Repeat the number twice. Leave some cryptic type of message that is going to elicit a callback. Okay? Don't be disingenuous. Don't call them up and say, "Hey, call me about your property. It's on fire right now." And just to get a call back, you're going to lose all sorts of credibility. Make sure you say it's important. What's important to you may not be important to them, but it may be important enough to them to get a call back. Listening is the most important part of sales. Listening and understanding and building rapport, because people sell on emotion and buy on emotion and justify with logic, okay? So you need to be able to build rapport. And that jumps right into my next point, with is not listening to the seller, right? When you're calling this seller and this person's got a property to sell and you're asking them questions like, well, tell me what your plans are for this house. That's one of my favorite questions to ask people. Tell me what you planned to do with this house. And then they tell you, and you don't listen, and you missed a big thing. They're like, well, I had plans to fix it up, but then my husband died, and then I was gonna give it to my son, and then he passed away, and it just really doesn't leave a good spot into me, and you're not listening, you're clicking through your next lead, you're not paying attention, and they just gave you gold nuggets of information that you could use to sell that client. For instance, you could say, I am so sorry to hear about the passing of your husband and your son. That is tragic, and I'm sorry. And obviously you need to be genuine when you say that. And you say, guess what though? I am going to restore that property in their honor so that you can remember what they wanted the way they wanted it. And once I'm done fixing it up, and this is something I've used before, once I'm done fixing it up, I will show you how good of a job I do so that you can remember not this house falling down, but it being sold to somebody else to build memories on that you were hoping to build memories with your family. You can still turn this negative in your life into a positive for someone else and put some closure in your life. How's that? I get these calls all the time, so I know exactly what other people are doing, and I can tell you, like, most of them are hiding behind a text message. Hey, Troy, is your house available on blah, 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 blah street? Or hey, whatever LLC, is your house available? Guess what? Everybody knows you're interested in buying the house. Everybody knows, everybody knows. What you need to do is come across as someone that they want to deal with, not just somebody who hit the numbers that day. You want to be the person, the woman, the guy, whomever that they want to work with, and you need to come across as someone who listens most of the time and responds in kind by mirroring their response, okay? Agreeing and listening and trying to work out a result that is good for them. Like, for example, you're listening, they tell you, well, I really would like to partner with you, split the house, get the profits from it, and be involved. And you can say, you know what? That's great. I understand exactly the way you feel. I would want to be a part of it too. In fact, I'm willing to let you be a part of it. I will do a deal with you where you own the house. I'll do all of the repairs and we'll split the profits. How does that sound? Okay? And you can watch the whole thing happen. How does that sound? Because you're giving them what they want. How are you gonna give them what they want if you don't know what they want because you closed your ears? So you gotta listen. You wanna make sure that you understood what they said. So what you're saying, Susan, is you need to close the property August 31st, 2021, and you need to make sure that half the proceeds go to your brother. Correct? And that you need to make sure that all the belongings out of the house are stored in a box. Did I hear you correctly? Is that exactly what you want to happen? It is great. And we're gonna make sure that happens on that date. What is your cell phone number? What number can I get a hold of you if I can't get a hold of you at those numbers? Confirm, make sure you've got all their information, repeat it. That is a professional. They understand they're dealing with somebody who does this for a living. Another big mistake that cold callers make is not scheduling a next step. You always have to leave the phone call wanting more, but don't box yourself in, okay? Don't say, I'm gonna call you back Friday at 5 o'clock. Big mistake. But schedule a next step. Like, hey, you know what? I understood today was not a good time to talk. Do you mind if I give you a call back in the next month or so? Or just even take that part out together. Say, you know what? I understand it's not a good time for you. I'm gonna follow up with you in the next few months, okay? Boom, there's the next step. Mark your calendar, call them back. Or I am going to send you a list of references of people who have dealt with me and their experience of dealing with me. And then you're gonna receive that within the next week. Is that good for you? Yes. Then make sure it happens. Follow through on what you said and do what you said and schedule something to happen. After I do that, then I'm gonna call you back and then we're gonna get the deal going, right? I will send you the contract with those references. Read it over. If you got any questions, write them down because I'm gonna be calling you back in a week so we can go over the details. Be committal, but follow through and schedule the next step. Move them down the road. For you to expect to close someone on the first deal, it doesn't happen very often. Arguing with a prospect is probably the stupidest thing that you could do. If you're watching the video and you've ever argued with a prospect, shame on you. You must be having a bad day. Arguing with anybody on the phone that you're trying to sell, and I've seen this happen from stupid salespeople who have called me before and they start getting into it with me. They're having a bad day. You can totally tell it. You start telling them something, they argue with you, they tell you they're wrong. Never, even if the person is wrong, don't argue with them. Just agree with them. Do not argue. You are not going to be seen as an expert. You're going to be seen as argumentative. It's not a good call. Don't argue. Speaking of arguing, don't get into religion or politics or anything like that. That's definitely going to get you either dead to rights or your best friend. Just stay away. Build rapport with stuff that is not confrontational. All right, last but not least, reading a script. Don't read the script. A script is simply a tool. You should write a script and you should memorize a script and you should have several scripts that you have answers for objections and you have answers for questions that are commonly asked and you have intros and you have things that you memorize, but do not be the one reading from the script. Hi, this is Troy. Barbara, yes, I am looking to speak with you about solar on your house today. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do that crap. It's not gonna work. It's going to be you're gonna sound like a robot, okay? Nobody likes getting those robot calls. And I'll tell you one thing that we didn't mention, and I'm so glad you stayed till the end, but do not use robocalling, okay? If I'm picking up the phone and I say, hello, 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 and then you're like, are you there? You've already lost me, okay? I'm already hanging up on you. I'm midway through the click, and then I pick it up, and I see you stumbling, reading a script. You're gone. You're fired. Don't do it. Don't read from a script. Use a script to develop your pitch, but do not read from a script. Use a script to develop your pitch. You get that? You're an actor on the phone. You're not reading like you're reading a book. You're improvising, you're doing improv, you're trying to be a salesman. If you're trying to get started in real estate, you're gonna have to get on the phones. If you're not willing to get on the phones, you're not gonna be successful in life. So if you're scared of it, I understand, but it's like anything, the more you practice, the better you get. I'm not good at this YouTube thing yet. I'm learning every day. You're learning every day. That's what we do. Don't be afraid of the phones. They can make you more money faster than anything else in your world. That's why you need to become excellent at overcoming objections, being good with your prospects, and understanding how to make a successful cold call. Peace.